on Shabbat, Perek Bet, Mishnah Dalet, fourth Mishnah in the second chapter of Shabbat. Says the Mishnah, Lo yikov Adam shvoferet shel beitza, v'yimal'ena shemen, v'yitnena al pi haner, v'yitzvir shetehei min hatefet. Let's translate. Lo yikov, yikov means to make a hole. A person should not make a hole in a shvoferet shel beitza. I took the shell of an egg, and I made a hole in it. V'yimal'ena shemen, and then you fill it with oil. V'yitnena al pi haner, you place it above the ner, the mouth of the candle. Remember, a candle, as we'll see in a second, is the receptacle that the wick was placed in. Bishvir shitehei min hatefet, so that it will drip. Made you a little picture. Okay? I worked hard on this, so appreciate it. The Mishnah says the following. Let's say, for example, I want to regulate the oil that's going in. Remember, it's lit over here. So I'm going to take an egg. I love my rudimentary word drawing, right? I have this candle. I'm going to take an egg, and then I'm going to put the oil in the egg here, and then I'm going to let the oil's going to drip down ever so gradually, because in this way I can regulate the flow of the oil, and it will burn longer. I guess that's how it works. Sounds reasonable. So the Mishnah says you're not allowed to do that. Afilu hi shel cheres, even if the beitzah is not a beitzah, even if it's made of cheres. What's the problem? The Bartenura says the following. This is according to pretty much all the explanations. V'ta'ama, the reason is gzeira shema yistapek mimenu. You're going to see, in this picture, you're going to see oil here, and you'll say, oh, oil, I'm hungry, I want some. You'll take some of the oil out, and then, the kevan shehikitzau, since you made it, hikitzahu l'ner, very interesting language. Hikitzahu l'ner means you have made it muksa to the ner, you've designated it for the candle, chayav mishum mechabeh. You are chayav because of mechabeh, i.e., if I take oil, any bit of oil out of this reservoir, out of this egg, then the candle is going to stop dripping at some point earlier. And then the candle is going to go out sooner. It's not going to have what to sustain the candle. And therefore the light is going to go out. And you're chayav mishum mechabeh. I would just point out that I saw some Rishonim that deal with the problem. It's not kibui. It's called gram kibui. Of course, you're not allowed to do gram kibui because it's a derabanan. But some say it's a problem of kibui itself. But in reality, you're not snuffing out the candle. You're removing some of the fuel so that it'll drip down. That will drip down. It's going to drip down less. So it's a very interesting question why the Chacham made a gzeira that you can't make up this little contraption because we're afraid that you're going to take some of the oil out and then it's gram kibui. But the point is here, since the egg is really distinct from the ner, therefore you're going to see the egg, or it'll be a reservoir. I saw in the Rab Safrai book. Rab Safrai, this is his book on Shabbat. He has a picture of like this contraption. It reminds me of those kiddush cups where you pour one in and then it drips down on the other sides. So it seems that this was something of a popular thing. Let's see if I can find it. Perek Sheni. Okay, here. I don't know if you can see the picture. This thing. Okay, I don't know how well you can. There you go. How well you can see it. This thing. Let's make it a little bigger. Yeah, and you can see there's like this egg thing over here. Okay, and that egg thing drips down into the candles, like our kiddush cup thing, that contraption everybody pours into. Okay, and so if you had this reservoir in the middle, maybe a person would say, "Oh, I want some of that olive oil," and that would be mechabeh. Afilu shel cheres, even if the egg is not made of egg, but it's of cheres. And the point is, why? What's the difference if it's shel cheres? If it's made of earthenware, once it's made of earthenware, then the oil becomes gross. Nonetheless, Chachamim made a gzeira. Rabbi Yehuda matir. Rabbi Yehuda permits if it's cheres. Aval. But im chibra yotzer mitchila. If the egg, this contraption was created by the yotzer, it was part of the candle originally, then mutar. Then everybody agrees. Why? It's one kli. Okay, since it's one kli, therefore we're not afraid. You're not going to touch the candle. If it was two separate kelim, if it was one on top of the other, then you would say, oh, it's an egg above a candle. I'm not touching the candle. Candle's muksa. Egg is fine. But if it's one thing, then you wouldn't touch it. Mishnah continues. Lo yimalei adam et kara shemen, v'yitnena b'tzad haner. You shouldn't fill the kara, the bowl with shemen, with oil, and then place it next to the candle. V'yitein rosh ha'ptila betocha, and then you run the wick. So I'm not going to, you can use your imagination. You have this, you place it full of oil, then you run a wick from here to there. And the wick will draw the oil from the reservoir into the candle. And this is for the same reason, obviously, because we're afraid it's not you. The wick is connected, but it's not the candle. So you'll say, okay, I can take oil from here, and it's the same problem of mechabeh. So let's read it again. You should take a bowl of shemen and place it next to the candle. And place the head of the wick in it, so that it will draw. Lish'ov means to draw, because this is the same problem, because we're afraid you're going to take oil from the ke'ara, and it's going to be mechabeh. Rabbi Yehuda matir, and in this case, Rabbi Yehuda permits, because it's not, he permits because he sees there's a wick in it, I guess, and therefore he's not afraid that you would draw oil from the second kli. We'll stop here. Comments or questions, as always, email me at arspolter@gmail.com. We'll dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.